Okay guys, hey, this is my review of the Cyberpower, actually, Fangbook X6. I ordered this after extensive research off Newegg just over a week ago. I got it in, I've had some time to play with it and get a feel for it and give you a quick overview. The system is actually, it's a quad-core i7 4700 MQ with an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 760M, which is a 2 gig GDDR5 card. It's got a 1 terabyte drive in it and 8 gigs of DDR3 with a DVD multi-drive. It also has 802.11 Wi-Fi. It also has, though it doesn't mention any of the specs, it has a killer gaming network card in it, an E2200 I believe, and then Bluetooth 4.0 and a 6L battery. As far as the system itself is concerned, I'll take a look at it real quick. Style-wise, it's a good-looking laptop for the most part. Let me take the cord out of it. You can see the front here and the front LEDs, and get a close-up of them. You can see there, caps lock, numbers lock, sleep mode. Obviously the Wi-Fi connection light and Bluetooth battery power indicator. On the left-hand side of the unit, you've got your HDMI, 3 USB ports, which you can see there, 2 USB 3.0, 1 USB 2.0, and then your audio jacks. Power is on the left-hand side of the unit, as well as a nice vented grate there for the video card. Back of the unit, very simple. It's got a very nice line, red line all the way around. On the right-hand side of the unit here, of course, we've got our DVD multi-drive, a secondary, or I should say, additional USB 2.0 port, and then your VGA connector and your Ethernet jack for wired LAN. The only gripe I actually really have, for the most part, one of the only gripes I have visually about the system is that the casing is got a god-awful, and I can't show it to you because I covered it up. It has a very plain, generic look to the top, but it has the word Cyberpower written across it in red. It just looks tacky and bland and makes it look very generic for such a high-powered and quality laptop, which isn't going to be a major concern because I'm going to be covering the top with a skin anyway to give it a little more subdued and well, I should say a little less subdued, but just a nicer look to it. Let me open it up. As far as the system itself is concerned, we've got a red illuminated keyboard. You can see here your standard case badges. The trackpad's actually very nice. It supports full Windows 8 gesture support, which is handy. And then, of course, you've got up here, which I'll get to in a second, though there's no documentation to it, your fan overdrive button and this curious kind of light-looking thing. This button, when you push it, controls the backlight to the keyboard. As you can see, it's red. Inexplicably, the only caveat to this is high. I've got a light shining on it right now, so you can't quite see how bright it is, but it's actually very bright, which I like. There's high, what you would think normally there'd be high, low, and off. There's off, high, and then this weird mode that is some keys are lit, some aren't. So it makes no sense to me at all. There's no documentation to explain it. Basically, the keys here you can see on the left-hand side of the keyboard moving in a diagonal direction. Basically, through V, G, Y, 7, and F8 are lit. The rest of the keyboard's black. Makes no sense at all. Can't figure it out. Why just those keys? So if you're using it in the dark, you only have the option to use it on high. If you turn it on the third setting, you get a couple keys lit and the rest of the keyboard's black, and it serves no function at all. It doesn't make any sense, and as I mentioned before, one of the additional things that I don't like about it is absolutely no documentation comes with this system. You get the box, a anti-static wrap that it comes in, the laptop, battery, and charger. That's it. There's no quick start guide, there's no manual, there's no owner instructions, nothing at all. It does come with the Windows 8 DVD, their backup copy for you, 8.1 actually this comes with, pre-installed, and then on the DVD as well. Outside of that, that's all you get. Real quick, I'll log in. Okay, so you can see here, the screen is a full HD 1920 by 1080 monitor. It does have a matte finish to it. I have owned only glossy laptops in the past, and one thing I can say from it is, though the screen is full HD, the matte finish gives some sections of pages a fuzzy look to them. Even though it's a full HD screen, at times there are certain items that render on pages as far as websites are concerned that tend to look a little fuzzier than they do on, say, a standard a glossy monitor. I can't figure out what the difference is, the crispness is. I have played with quite a few different settings as far as the graphics are concerned. It's not a major concern, it just happens to show up occasionally when I set it side by side with my old DV7. Other than that, it's beautiful. The system is fast. You can see specs-wise here. Just like I said, it's running 8.1 64-bit Core i7 Haswell processor, 8 gigs of RAM, which I'm going to upgrade to the full 16. This unit does only support 16. Obviously, the 2 gig video card, the GTX 765M, as well as the 1 terabyte hard drive. I did add, and we'll get to this in just a second, I did add a mSATA drive to this, a 240 gig mSATA drive, which is handy. It does not support the use of a secondary standardized SATA hard drive, but it does support the use of an mSATA drive, which is great. So my absolute favorite thing about the system, though, is though it is from Cyberpower, or I should say branded as Cyberpower, the unit is actually an MSI whitebook. It's built by MSI. On the bottom here, you've got your battery compartment. But absolutely my favorite thing about the system is 100% is the ease of upgrade and access. On so many laptops that I've worked on for customers, clients, and of my own, you've got to take the laptop apart in various areas to get to various components. Hard drive and memory are always under 2 different decks. 2 different plates on the bottom, but to get to anything else, you've got to basically disassemble the whole system. Take out 15-20 screws, then flip the unit over, take over the keyboard, take out screws underneath the keyboard, lift the kick plate up to get to everything. This laptop is absolutely geniusly designed. If I take the battery out real quick here, see if I can do this one-handed. If I take the battery out real quick, you can see I take one panel off and I have access to everything inside the unit. Inside the unit here, I've got my hard drive, my RAM upgrades. Here's where I put in my mSATA drive as well. And there's a spot for yet another mSATA card or SSD cache. And as you can see, you can get to every component that you need to as far as working on the system underneath one panel. So your fan, heat sinks, your CPU and GPU, all of it is located directly underneath one bottom panel. So I've never seen a laptop, I've never owned one myself at least, that has this level of accessibility. Absolutely amazing. With all the engineering that goes into MacBook Pros, they still require an insane amount of disassembly to get to a lot of the components. So to be able to take out 4 screws and get access to everything you could possibly want to as far as the internals are concerned for upgrades and repairs, that's amazing. So it's just a quick overview of the system. So far, it's proved to be incredibly powerful and fast. It has, let me put the battery back in here, right? It has incredibly fast boot up time, which is nice, which is only made that much better with the mSATA drive. Eventually, here in the next couple days, I'm going to end up loading the operating system on the mSATA drive and then use the 1 terabyte solely for data. Boot is very, very fast. The configuration is set up well. It kills programs that chews them up. Photoshop, it runs blisteringly fast compared to my old DV7, which was brought to a crawl. It has a quad-core i2660 in it, i7 2660 in it, with 16 gigs of RAM, and it does not come anywhere near as close to this machine as far as speed is concerned. This is an incredibly fast machine, and I do love it. So that's the overview. If you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. Post, comments, whatever. But there's a review. Once again, it's the Cyberpower Fangbook X6. The unit is $999 right now on Newegg. I did shopping for close to a week, several hours a day prior to making the purchase, because I needed to upgrade for the business. I needed something that run Photoshop well, but wasn't terribly heavy. This unit is actually 10 pounds, 10.6 pounds, but it does not feel like it. My old DV7 feels much heavier than this. This one feels much lighter and more accessible. As I mentioned, the unit's only $999. I looked at several units, and the only ones that came even close to the same specs were in the $1,200 range, $1,300 range. I believe I found one for $1,150. So obviously, it's significantly cheaper than competing systems with similar specs. In addition, like I said, this is simply a rebranded MSI whitebook. I could not even find an MSI notebook that had similar or the same specs in the same price range, which is kind of odd considering the fact that this is an MSI notebook just rebranded with Cyberpower's stuff. So that's the overview. Once again, have any questions or comments, let me know. Thank you.